Hello, everyone. Welcome to the very first of the PvTCAST interviews.
Let's go.
I am V,
And I am Bab.
and we are joined here today with Merida Fireheart, aka Rainbow Slugg, aka the voice of Tip.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, as of recording, there is under 24 hours now until the Kickstarter is live. Although, when you are seeing this, it'll have been up for a week. So, hopefully things are going well.
Manifesting good things for us.
Manifesting
We're
the good
manifesting
vibes.
right now. But yeah, this is going to be a series of videos where we interview each member of the cast. We are starting, of course, with the voice of Tip. So,
Yes,
would
that
you
is
like to
me.
introduce yourself real
Hello.
quick?
Hello, I am Rowan, also known as Rainbow Slugg, and I am the voice of Tip in Player versus Trinity.
Yeah.
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 It's a pleasure to be here. I woke up about 2 hours ago, so we're gonna do this.
So yeah, without further ado, why don't we hop into the first question here?
Of
Uh,
course.
Could I ask?
Yes, you can go, you can go.
Like, I don't want to interrupt it. I was like ready to speak. So our first question: what got you into voice acting, and what were some of your first roles?
Well, I've always liked doing voices. I mimicked a lot of the voices I would see on cartoons and TV, but it never really clicked with me that there were like people behind the voices. But when I learned that that was like a career idea, I kept it in the back of my mind. But, sitting around with my littlest pet shops in Bakugan, creating whole stories and doing voices with them, really got me into it. But my first official voice acting role had to have been back in college. There was a casting call for a podcast that a senior was doing for their project called Flashpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a fake true crime podcast following a fictional arson investigation and trial. And I was actually cast as the only surviving victim of the string of arson attacks.
Nice.
Yeah, I tried to get into the role. I listened back to it, and I wish I had like done a little better, but I was proud of it. And so following that, when V came to me and was like, hey, I'm going to be doing this animated pilot. I don't know if I'm going to have voice actors for it yet. I heard voice actor and I was like, oh, I was just doing something like that. Dude, let me in.
Can I actually tell a funny story about that, though?
Yes.
Because originally, when I did the casting call for the pilot, Tip was not part of the list of characters I was looking for, because originally, I was just gonna voice Tip myself. And like, I was just like, oh, I don't know, maybe Rowan would be interested in voicing like Destiny or something. And you were like, oh, let me voice Tip. And I was like, oh, you mean sure, yeah, you could do that. That would also work great. And it just ended up
I think my
working out
exact
that way.
words were, I will fill any role necessary. I don't even think I did a casting call for Destiny. I would have loved to voice her, but
Yeah,
I think the person we have voicing Destiny
you were just like,
now is,
hey,
like,
can I
me.
voice Tip? And I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
From my perspective, I think I was more bullying you. Like, I will fill any role you need. Just give me a role.
Yeah, I was literally just gonna like record those lines myself after all the recording sessions were done, and not worry about it, and then hire someone else later for like future stuff.
I'm like, nah, I can do it. Nah.
But hey, it worked
I'll
out
do
in the
it.
end, so it's
Yeah,
all
I
cool.
mean, I really can't imagine Tip voiced by anyone else at this point.
Oh, thank you. That actually makes me really happy. I'm glad my voice is so unique. Uh,
But yeah, so our next question here is what advice would you give to someone aspiring to be a voice actor in the animation scene?
well, I'm not a professional VA. I have a few things under my belt, but from I mean, ours is a unique circumstance because you are an animator, and I just like, hey, give me characters to voice. I'm gonna be in this whether you like it or not. So, I mean, joking answer is have friends who are animators and show them that you can do the silly voices, and be able to read a script. Serious note, it's all about putting yourself out there and like keep going no matter like have some lines read. You can read a monologue. Make sure that like you don't even need to have good equipment. I'm standing in a gun closet with my phone in my hand. I think I sound pretty good.
Yeah,
But
like
it's all about like
you just
going.
don't want to be afraid. Like
Don't be
indie
afraid.
creators are so nice. So
Oh,
like
they're
don't
so
be
sweet.
afraid to
People
get out
think they're
there.
scary, but yeah, don't be afraid of them. They're more afraid of you than you are of them. I promise. You gotta put your.
Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of people are like. I think that's what stops a lot of people is not putting themselves out there or like being too nervous to do like mess up or do the weird thing. Let me tell you, you're gonna mess up. It's okay. People are gonna be weird, and if it doesn't work, oh well. They don't exist if they're not in your line of sight. Move on and forget about them. They're not going to be thinking about you. You won't be thinking about them.
Just know that as scared as you may be, those indie creators are just as scared as you.
Oh, absolutely. They are very
No,
skittish.
can confirm. Everyone is terrifying to everyone.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Humans, scariest creatures.
All
All right.
right, we've got
So,
a fun question next. Bab, if you would like to read it.
Our next question. Our next question is because, of course, Player versus Trinity is all about gaming. How much of a gamer are you, and what video game would you say is your favorite?
ooh, I we can attest. I'm a big gamer. I game a lot. I don't, but I'm a gamer who I will take it as an opportunity to game wherever, even to the detriment of whatever I am working on. I first started out with a DS. Like I think I started out with a Leap Pad and worked my way up from there. But
Oh
I've
my
always
god.
been a console girly, and I got like an iPad at like 12 and was playing Minecraft on that. And then it just went from there. I would watch people play Minecraft online. I would play Pokemon all the time, Pokemon being one of my favorites, classic Pokemon games.
Let's go.
Let's
First
go.
first Pokemon game, Diamond and Pearl. It was
Yo, same.
beautiful. Loved it. Turtwig starters for life. Anyone who
Let's
says otherwise is
go.
just objectively
Yes.
wrong.
Yes.
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 See? Objectively correct answer. Turtwig.
The correct choice.
Turtwig.
Nowadays I have a bunch of like I do a lot of cozy games, a lot of mobile games because I have my phone on me all the time and not my DS. But I do play a lot of PvE or like team based games. I love fantasy games though, like RPG Maker games,
Oh, yes, definitely.
games where you could put yourself in the fantasy setting. One that my very special person showed me was Dragon Age. That series has been death gripped on my soul recently. Um, games with fun characters and with like good stories, but also I am only mortal. I play gotcha games. I have an addiction, and we need to talk about that later. The gambling games also have a vice grip on my ADHD. So sadly, one of my favorite current favorite games is getting shut down in May. So
Oh no.
just RIP. Yeah, they're going on their farewell tour. So that's great.
That is very
But
sad.
yeah, if it gives you any perspective, one of my first console games was Minecraft and Fallout 4, then followed by Overwatch. So I was lucky I never had a mic as a kid.
Well, there you go. There you go.
There you
Oh
go.
my God.
I'm a well-seasoned, well-rounded gamer. I can't play PC though. I don't have the hand coordination.
That's fair. I only just barely have a little bit of hand coordination for most games.
I know. That's okay, V. I've seen how you play video games. You're pretty good at it.
Alright, well, on to the next question.
Please. Let's move on.
On to our next question. What do you like most about your character, and what's been your favorite part of being in Play vs. Trinity so far?
I love interacting with the other VAs. I love seeing it come together. I love Tip being like so simple. Like a
Hmm.
very simple character, but it's also wildly out of like the customer service tone and the lack of swearing is very far from who I am as a person. I have a bit of a potty mouth, so I swear a lot, hence why we had to do a lot of takes. But I like how small and friendly and helpful Tip is, or at least how they try to be. They're just trying to run the school to the best of their ability and do what they can with what they got. And he's very simple. He's a very simple character. And I enjoy how expressive he can be with his hands while also being like, no, fix this.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big differences, I think, is going to be more apparent the longer the series go compared to like Kane, because obviously we've made a lot of jokes about Tip and Kane being similar-ish characters. Obviously because the pilot was recorded like right as episode 1 of Digital Circus came out. But I think one of the big differences is that I don't want to, it sounds rude to say like this, but like Kane is more of a character than Tip is. Like Tip is very much an AI assistant.
Yeah,
Tip more than Kane is like a character. I don't want to say AI chatbot, but like
well, I mean,
yeah.
Like he's Kane has a lot more personality to him than Tip. But you know, maybe I can fix that. Maybe with just my voice alone, I can fix that a little bit. I can fix him. I can make it better. But yeah, I think funny you bring up Kane because I think right before we recorded, like literally, I think 4 hours before you texted me to be like, "Hey, are you free to like do recordings today?" I had been watching the pilot for the Amazing Digital Circus. Like it popped up on my feed. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I watched it. I'm like, oh, so this is just my entire vibe. Okay.
I love that we all seem to remember the exact moment we watched.
Where were you when episode 1 released?
I was in my dorm room about 3 monster cans deep into trying to do work for an illustration class. And that came up in a like weirdcore-esque, like I think I had searched like weirdcore theme, like circus themes, because I wanted to do like a circus theme for my project. And that came up, and I'm like, huh, these characters actually look like a lot of fun, and I think the teeth guy looks interesting. Little did I know he'd become my favorite character.
Yeah. R.I.P. to Kane.
R.I.P. to Kane. Love my sparkly little guy. It's still fresh. I'm still in mourning. I'm like I refuse to believe he's fully gone.
We have one more question. left for this
All right.
interview. And for our last question, we have put together some exclusive questions for each individual person we're interviewing. So these will either be just some silly, goofy questions related to the character, questions related to things the VA is working on at the moment, and stuff like that, just to keep you on your toes for each interview and give you something special at the end to make you want to see them all, you know?
Yeah.
Gotta
So
catch them all.
You
our
gotta
last
catch them all. You gotta
question.
collect them all.
So our last question is, how would you describe Tip's daily routine?
Tips, daily routine. All right. So let's walk through a typical day in the life of Tip of having to run an entire college campus while handling all the humans within it. Well, I feel like Tip hops off of his little charger at about 6 in the morning,
Mm-hmm,
you know,
mm-hmm.
bright and early. We've fully charged for the day. Um, he'll fly around, see if anything needs to be done around his office, clean, straighten anything. Nothing's moved, but you know, still a little cleaning, a little straightening, a little fixing here and
What do you
there.
think? What do you think Tip keeps on his desk?
I think Tip keeps a world's best school head or world's best mascot mug,
Yes.
like #1 mascot that one of the
Uh-huh,
students
uh-huh.
got him, and he just it touched his servos so deeply that someone got him just this shitty little mug as like a joke, but he loves it. A little picture of 3 identical looking Tips, but each slightly different color for him
Yes.
and his siblings and or parents, like a photo stock picture of one of those eye dogs back in the day, like the
Oh
the
my
robo
god.
Oh, yeah,
dogs.
let's go.
Yeah.
Yes.
He absolutely has like a little one, like little McDonald's toy on his desk of the robo dog. uh he calls it Bark Bark Go instead of Duck Duck Go.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
uh
Yes.
you know, he has some like framed photo stock diplomas calling him like world's greatest AI on it,
Mm-hmm.
like, or like a hang in there cat poster on the wall, and a little Rubik's cube, because of course this weirdo has a Rubik's cube and or Rubik's spear, depending on how that day goes. The little sphere, which is unsolvable. He has never touched the thing, but it's there, you know, to promote like creative problem solving. Each one
Exactly,
has this
exactly.
like like if you search up what should principal have on desk and look at that, like, photo like he just gathered from a bunch of different movies, like, what does a principal and or head of school have on their desk, and then went from there.
Yes.
So he will leave his office, go to the break room, fill his mug with coffee. He won't drink it. It's just for the aesthetic of having a coffee. Sit it down. Then he sits in his big head of school chair, and he'll start doing emails on his face. He'll read through any new emails, check logs, do the morning announcements at roughly 8 a.m., and we'll get on with our school day, which is lots of emails, lots of checking in on the students, programming new games, finding playtesters and investors for the school and for his games that he has created. And then about lunchtime, he sits down with a little flash drive, plugs it in, and simulates lunch, which is just more data that he's found, probably like a cooking show to get like the flavor of, you know, food. Just to be one of them cool kids. And he's like, "Oh, that was a lovely lunch that I watched be prepared and consumed. Wonderful."
You love a good
And
concept
then
lunch.
we do concept lunch. And yes, they are coded for each day of the week.
Of course.
Friday is pizza day. He
Absolutely.
watches at least one or more pizza shows of them like hand tossing the pizza.
I love that so much.
He's so silly. And then, more work. And then at, I believe, 3 or 4, he shuts down his laptop, which, has no purpose because he's doing all of this on his little face monitor.
Mm-hmm.
He starts packing up for the day, puts on a little like hat, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna go take a little float through the park on my way home. Simulate Does a little lap around the campus and goes back to his little room where he keeps like his charging port, a fake plant. It's plastic, but it counts. He pats his little robot dog. Take some time to indulge in what the kids are watching nowadays, which is either like doom scrolling a few videos or watching like not the news, but like daytime television, like talk shows for a little bit. Simulate how the kids do.
Exactly.
Or yeah. Greetings, my fellow adolescents. And then watch a dinner cooking show, maybe indulge in some Gordon Ramsay if he's had a rough day, because someone has to swear. It can't be him. Then he pats his little servo dog, and at promptly 8 or 9 o'clock, 9 on Fridays or weekends, he gets ready for bed, cleans his circuits, gives himself like a little spray duster to get any dust, and then like puts on a little sleeping cap and plugs himself in for the night. And that's his day. And then he gets a full night's charge and is ready to do it all again tomorrow.
Love it. That's
What
how
a
it is.
guy.
That's canon.
He's just a regular guy.
It's canon.
He's just a guy.
He's just a regular guy like everyone else,
Yeah, see, he's just like you. You should totally give him your internet access code. It's just like you. Nothing to worry about. He's just silly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, a day
Exactly.
in the life of Tip. Until those silly students come and mess up his well-crafted, perfectly executed games.
I hope you wrote all that down, Bab, because that will be a full episode.
Yes. Oh man.
Yeah, come
Homework.
back to reference this. Some
Yes.
rewatchability. Come reference a day in the life of Tip.
Yeah, no, I like the
Beautiful.
idea that instead
so
of
beautiful.
there like only being one Tip is like Nose Joy for
Yeah,
like
me
the
and
Pokemon
my,
anime.
47,000 cousins and like
Yes.
siblings.
Very we are Tip.
We are Tip. We are one. Come join the Tip hive mind. Like, hello, Tip. Good morning, Tip. He's just interacting with other Tips on his way to work.
Yeah.
It's like the
yeah.
Barbie movie.
Hi, Tip. Good morning, Tip. Well, hello, Tip. Hey, Tip, how's the family? Wonderful, Tip. Have a good day.
Just imagine the break room with like 15 Tips, all just like
All
hanging
talking
out.
about basic, basic talking point topics that you'd see like pop up on like a search engine or like a WikiHow of how to hold a human conversation. Like,
all just like
how to make small
conversation
talk.
starter buzzwords and like not actually going anywhere.
So, about that weather. Yeah, no, that weather is totally weathering. How about them stock markets? Oh my goodness, the missus wouldn't like that. Like, you wouldn't believe these stock prices. But literally, if I had to give it like a thought in my head of how this would go out, if you've ever played Job Simulator, that like that's how I kind of imagine it with like the computer floats in and they're talking, and then like normal synthesized voice, and then when like an input prompt, it just drops to a very robotic like insert line. V, I think you should play Job Simulator. I think
I
this,
might have to.
you have to. It is
Oh my God.
hilarious.
Well, hey, there we go. I think we did it. I think that was our
We
first
did it!
episode
Yippee!
of the PvTCAST interviews. So thank you all for watching. Thank you, Rowan, for joining.
How always happy to be here. Thank you for
And
having me.
yeah, next week we will be interviewing Nicole, the voice of Trinity. So
Woohoo!
be sure to
Stay
tune in for that
tuned.
on April 12th for episode 2 of the PvTCast interviews. And we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye! Goodbye!
Goodbye.